Anton sat at his desk, sipping black coffee and mindlessly staring at his laptop screen. It was a quiet Monday, too quiet for his taste. The office was practically empty. Most of his colleagues were away on business trips, and the boss preferred working from home. Anton had decided to stay late, finally finishing the project he'd abandoned the week before. But work wasn't what occupied his mind. It was an unread message in his chat. It was from Keisha. Keisha had been his first and maybe only real love. They started dating in high school and then went to college together. Their story seemed like the perfect rom-com, cute moments, endless laughter, and shared dreams. But as it often happens, things changed when they grew up. The usual fights, misunderstandings, and daily life chipped away at their connection. Keisha started wanting more attention, more time together, more plans for the future. Anton, on the other hand, always lived for the moment, enjoying the here and now. The ending was inevitable. They broke up. First, it was temporary, but eventually it became permanent. It had been almost a year since their last encounter, but she still lingered in his life like a ghost. Her Instagram stories, photos from trips, videos of her laughing with friends, it seemed like she had completely moved on. But he hadn't. Every day, he found himself going back to memories he wished he could erase. But he couldn't. Then, a few days ago, Keisha suddenly messaged him. Just one short line, "Hey, how are you?" He read it immediately but didn't respond. Strange, since not too long ago, he would have done anything to hear from her again. Now, though, something inside held him back. The office was silent. Anton switched on the lamp and opened the message again, the one that had been left unanswered for 3 days. Things would have been easier if he had just forgotten her. But no, she was still his weak spot, the scar that hadn't healed. He started typing a reply. A simple "hey" seemed too plain. He deleted it and paused. What did he even want to say? That he missed her. That he still thought about her every night when he returned to his empty apartment. Or that he was angry at her for leaving. He didn't know. Finally, his fingers moved on their own. "Hey, I'm doing okay. How about you?" He hit send and instantly felt a pang of regret. It was too simple, too emotionless. Like nothing had ever happened. Her reply came a few minutes later. "I'm good. I've been thinking about you lately. Missed you." Those words caught him off guard. Keisha missed him. After everything that had happened between them? Anton's heart tightened. It all came rushing back, their evening walks, her voice, her smile. Damn, it was starting again. He knew he was diving back into the same old pain, but he couldn't stop. They began texting back and forth. Keisha told him how much she had reflected on their relationship over the past year, how she realized she'd made mistakes, and how hard it had been without him. Anton couldn't believe what he was reading. She was saying everything he'd longed to hear. But was it real? Or was this just another round in their never-ending drama? Over the course of the week, they grew closer again. Anton started feeling like maybe he could get back what they had lost. They agreed to meet. No promises, just a meeting to talk, to look at each other, to try to understand where they stood. On the day of their meet-up, Anton took his time getting ready. He wore his favorite shirt, the one Keisha once called the most stylish thing he'd ever worn. He arrived at the cafe a little early, sitting by the window where he could see the bustling street outside. His heart raced as if it were their first date all over again. He checked the time, she was due to arrive any minute. When Keisha walked into the cafe, Anton's breath caught in his throat. She looked exactly as he remembered, vibrant, with a soft smile on her face, her hair gently curled, her eyes sparkling with that familiar warmth. She walked up to him, and they hugged, slightly awkward but warm nonetheless. "Hey," she said, sitting down across from him. "Hey," Anton replied, trying to keep his cool, though everything inside him was buzzing. They started with small talk, house work, house life. But there was an underlying tension, something unspoken that hung in the air between them. Anton wanted to ask her straight out what had changed. Why was she back in his life now after they had both agreed to go their separate ways? He could feel something brewing in the background, something that could either make or break them again. I've been thinking a lot about us, Kasia said, biting her lip slightly as if choosing her words carefully. I don't know if we can go back to how things were, but I've realized you were an important part of my life. And maybe I want to try again. Anton froze. These were the words he had dreamed of hearing for an entire year. But now, hearing them, something inside felt off. Something screamed that this was a bad idea. But his emotions took over. I missed you too, he said. But you know we can't just go back to what we had, right? Kasia lowered her gaze. Yeah, I know, she said quietly. But I can't stop thinking about what we could have had. I made a mistake leaving. Anton felt his heart breaking all over again. He knew that if he said yes now, they'd end up in the same cycle. They'd have a few happy months, then the fights would start again, the complaints, the dissatisfaction. He knew it, but he was willing to risk it. For her. Let's try, he said softly. Kasia looked at him, a spark of hope flickering in her eyes. They left the cafe together. Anton couldn't shake the feeling that he was making a mistake, but that feeling was drowned out by the joy of having Katia by his side again. He walked her home, and they said goodbye, promising to meet again over the weekend. Everything felt like it was falling back into place. But something wasn't right. A few days passed, and Katia became distant again. Her messages were shorter and her calls less frequent. Anton could sense it, the same old pattern was repeating. And then one evening, he got the message he had feared. I'm sorry, Anton. I was wrong. I'm not ready for this. Let's just be friends. The words hit him like a punch to the gut. Everything he had been holding onto, everything he had hoped for, came crashing down in an instant. He didn't respond. He just deleted the message, turned off his phone, and stared out the window, listening to the rain tap against the glass. Sometimes, love isn't just about the happy moments, it's about accepting that some things are beyond repair.